The New York Rangers had a pretty good trade deadline, although they did not add in any true kind of top line level talent like a Jake Ensel, a Pavel Buchnevich, an Alex Tuch. They still added in some pretty solid players here who can definitely make a good impact on this team, not only in the regular season for the rest of the season here, but come playoff time as well. These are some players who definitely can make an impact and truly kind of help this team potentially go on a nice long playoff run. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys an update on the 4 trades that the Rangers did make, give you guys kind of a recap and a breakdown on these moves. Starting off here with the first one that happened a couple days ago, the New York Rangers trading for Seattle Kraken center Alex Wenberg. Now, he's not going to be the flashiest player. He's not some elite talent, but he definitely can be a pretty solid player for the Rangers here, playing on that third line, playing a pretty solid defensive game. That is what he kind of is known for, as being that kind of shutdown center, really good defensively, can help out in the PK as well, which is always nice to have an extra guy who can play the penalty kill, and he is a pretty good defensive player overall, and he's 6'2", 190 pounds, decent size, a pretty good center. I mean, he's not too bad overall. I mean, offensively, definitely not the best, but he is definitely a better defensive center than an offensive guy, but offensively, he's definitely not too bad either. You take a look at what he's done so far this season. He does have 60 games played with the Seattle Kraken, 9 goals, 16 assists for 25 points. Not too bad at all. And he does only have 2 power play goals and 2 power play assists. So 21 of his 25 points are at even strength, which is not too bad at all. At the 60 games played, 21 even strength points is not too bad for a more of a defensive center. So having him on the third line there definitely provides some pretty good depth down the middle for the Rangers, especially after losing Philip Hedl earlier on in the season. But taking a look at what he's done the previous 2 seasons before this one, back in 2022, 2023 last season, he did have 82 games played, 38 points, 13 goals, 25 assists, almost 40 points there, not too bad. And in 2021, 2022, 2 seasons ago, he had 80 games played, 11 goals, 26 assists for 37 points. So once again, almost had 40 points as more of a defensive center. Those numbers are not too bad at all. And the New York Rangers ended up trading away a 2024 second-round pick as well as a conditional 4th-round pick in 2025 from the Dallas Stars that can become a 3rd-round pick, but it'll more than likely be staying as a 4th. So I think this is pretty good value here, a 2nd and a 4th-round pick for Wenberg. For what the guys went for around the NHL, I think this is a pretty solid deal for the Rangers. And the next move we saw here was the New York Rangers acquiring right-handed defenseman from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Chad Ruhwedel, for a 4th-round pick in 2027. I think overall this is a good move here for the Rangers. This is exactly what they needed to do. I've been kind of saying it for a while now. The Rangers needed to go out there and acquire a depth defenseman. It didn't have to be a great one. It just needed to be a solid kind of depth guy, whether it was a more of a tougher guy or just solid defensive guy. It just needed to be someone who was good defensively and can move the puck a bit, and this is exactly what we got here in Chad Ruhwedel. He's a solid guy, only 5'11", not the toughest guy in the world, but he can move the puck. He's a solid puck mover, and he's just solid defensively as well. So offensively, he's not going to contribute a whole lot. I mean, he does have 47 games played this season, 4 points. So not a whole lot offensively. In his entire NHL career, he has 359 games played, 49 points. Not a whole lot there. In the playoffs, he does have 25 total games played, 0 points in the playoffs. So not a great offensive guy, but he can move the puck a bit, make those breakout passes. He can also play solid defensively, be a reliable, just D-man in general. He is 33 years old, turning 34 in May, so he's got a lot of experience. He's won a cup with the Penguins. A solid ad here for the Rangers for relatively cheap. A 4th-round pick in 2027, it really doesn't mean a whole lot when you are trying to win a Stanley Cup like the Rangers are trying to do so right now. And the third trade we saw was more of a kind of AHL level deal here, as the New York Rangers traded away Trenur Ellison, who's been playing with the Hartford Wolfpack, for Nick Petan, who was playing with the Iowa Wild as well as a bit with the Minnesota Wild. But this is a really good move here for the Hartford Wolfpack, picking up a very good AHL level guy. Nick Petan's really never been able to quite crack it at the NHL level, but in the AHL, he's been a very good player. I mean, this season with the Iowa Wild has 44 games played, 12 goals, 28 assists, 40 points. Really great numbers there, nearly a point per game. And then in the NHL this year with the Wild having 6 games played, 2 assists, pretty good. Last year in the AHL, though, did have 62 points in 53 games played. Not bad at all. And in the NHL had 10 games played, 3 points. So overall, he's been a very dominant player in the AHL. Hasn't quite been able to crack it at the NHL level, but I think this is a great pickup here for the Hartford Wolfpack, who are obviously a team who could potentially go on a playoff run here with a very young squad with a ton of prospects. So a nice pickup here for them. And Trenur Ellison is not really a great player. He's playing with Hartford Wolfpack this season, having 38 games played, 12 points. Not a great player here. So definitely a nice pickup for the Hartford Wolfpack and definitely a pretty big upgrade for them. And the fourth and final trade the New York Rangers made right around the NHL trade deadline was acquiring Columbus Blue Jackets forward Jack Roslovic. Now, obviously, it's not that top line level guy, not that kind of true top six level talent. Definitely more of a middle six kind of guy, but a pretty solid player here in Jack Roslovic, who I think can definitely have a pretty big impact on this team. Obviously, he could potentially fit in right alongside guys like Zibanejad and Kreider on that top line there, and I definitely think he should get a look there, as he's a pretty decent playmaker. He's having a good year this year. He's had a couple really solid seasons in the past, having some really good numbers offensively, putting up some nice numbers at 5-on-5 as well, at even strength, not just being like a power play merchant on a bad team like the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's put up some good numbers 5-on-5 and even strength. I do think this is a guy who definitely could potentially fit quite well alongside two good goal scorers in Kreider and Zibanejad, so that could fit well there. There could be some decent chem there. We'll have to wait and see how they truly do work, but it definitely is a move that hopefully will work quite nice for the team. Taking a look, though, at what the actual deal was for Jack, though, it was the New York Rangers acquiring Jack Roslovic at 50% retained by the Blue Jackets, obviously, to make this deal work, for a 2026 fourth-round pick that is conditional on if the New York Rangers do make the Stanley Cup final this season, as well as Jack Roslovic does play in at least half the playoff games. That fourth-round pick in 2026 will become a third-round pick in 2026. So I think that's fine there, obviously. A fourth or a third-round pick in 2026 for a guy who can put up some pretty good numbers. I mean, taking a look at what he's done so far this season offensively, he does have 40 games played, 6 goals, 17 assists for 23 points. I think those numbers are pretty good. And I do already have a video up on the channel on each Chad Ruhwedel, Alex Wenberg, and Jack Roslovic, talking more in depth on just those traits in particular. So if you want to go check out that video, you definitely can. I have one for each of them already up on the channel, and the Chad Ruhwedel one is a YouTube short, by the way. But carrying on here and taking a look at the numbers on what he's done the past couple of seasons as well, because he has put up some really good numbers. I mean, last season had 77 games played, 44 points, 33 assists, very good numbers there. The previous season, back in 2021, 2022, he had 81 games played there, 22 goals, 23 assists, 45 points, not too bad at all. And in his first season with the Blue Jackets, had 48 games played, 12 goals, 22 assists for 34 points. So he's put up some very good numbers the past 4 seasons or so since coming to Blue Jackets. And although Jack may not be, that point per game kind of guy, that true, like I said, top line talent, I do think that he can be a pretty good player for this team and definitely could have a pretty big impact, especially if he can get connecting with guys like Zibanejad and Kreider. He could have a pretty good end to the regular season here, while also having a potentially pretty great playoff run with the team as well, who could be looking to go on a nice long playoff run, hopefully, this season. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, and don't forget to comment down below your guys' thoughts on these trades, as well as don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content, as I do not miss a single day.